As you might have known by now, Ado had a world tour from April to August 2025 called Hibana, and I was there. I'm going to tell you every single bit about it. So, I was one of the concert goers who dominated the venue at the SM Moavii Arena. I got a reserved seat in the general admissions tier, which is pretty much the last tier you can get. Honestly, well, sure, I could have gotten a better seat, but I had this time constraint where I did not expect the ticket sales to open that early. You know, it's tough luck, but in the end, I know that whether I was the front or the last row, it didn't really matter, considering that it was one of the most unforgettable experiences I've ever had, and I would do anything just to experience that again. I vividly remember watching her birthday live stream back then. It was her 22nd birthday, and I was not expecting a Q&A at most. Then all of a sudden, she surprised us with a second World Tour announcement, which was actually very surprising, considering that Wish just happened that time. I remember how I jumped with joy and excitement back then that I even broke my headset just because Manila was part of the venues. Now fast forward to the date, which was May 8th, the day of the concert. It was 4 a.m. I could really sleep again, so I had to prepare myself very early on, had a morning walk, and prepared my cosplay. Oh, and speaking of cosplays, yeah, I went to Sakita Shinoname from Project Sekai that time, as you can see here. Some of the Manila concert goers might have seen me actually. Shout out to them. Yeah, I'm not really going to wear that wig for the entire video because I didn't really get to style it. Going back to the video, after the entire preparation, I went out with my friend, we booked a ride, and after an hour or two, we have finally arrived. So yeah, the one that I ended up was Ado. The Ado plush. Oh, and Ashura is here too, but I already bought her before, and the one that I bought was Ado. Was it worth it? Definitely yes. I love Ado. Although I admit she was very pricey, but not as bad compared to the other ones. Especially the poster, which actually something that I wanted at first, but I noticed how inflated it was, so I had to step out. I also wanted that t-shirt, but it was out of my budget, so I had to get Ado instead. And I love her. So yeah, as you can see, Ado and Ashura is back in my bed. They're chilling. After 5 hours of waiting, which I think we finished at around 2 or 2:30 p.m., something around those times. After that, we got hungry. We had Wendy's. After Wendy's, we went out to the rhythm games with Mai and Chinidin. Mai was actually fun. I played Odo and Hibana Reloaded, which I got high scores on. And on Chinidin, meanwhile, it was actually my first time playing, and I actually really enjoyed it. And then we went out to the gacha shop and found the Deco 27 gashapon. I had to pull there and got the Aino Kotoba full keychain. And after a while, we went out back to the venue because it was nearing the console. I was really excited at this time now. So I got to her seat like 2 hours early before it started, and yes, I was so excited. It's like I reached the peak of the mountain, to be honest. It was just so amazing. I couldn't believe I was seeing her. This entire scenery was so amazing. It was so beautiful. I already felt her aura from back then, even though it didn't started yet. At that time, I didn't know what the setlist was because I wanted to surprise myself on the concert. And then a bit later on, I saw this person sitting alone in a row, so we decided to talk while we wait. We talk about Ado, we talk about life, we talk about cosplays. Then we also guess what songs will be covered. I remember we were guessing Hibana, Ghost Rule, Mind Brand, Brain Revolution Girl, a lot more. So yeah, we were both as equally excited, and later on we decided to be friends, and it was actually quite nice. So it just proves that Ado brings people together. And yeah, as the time passes by, seats got more filled, the excitement, the anticipation, it was growing bigger. Later on, the stage turned red, and at last, the guitar started, and it was time for the concert. So Ado started the concert big with Usewa, and it was like a big adrenaline rush. The entire arena was screaming, and I think I actually lost my voice. It was very hype. And then after that came Lucky Bruto, which is actually very unexpected to me considering it's one of her more underrated songs. After that, I actually love the song more. After that, more songs came in like Gira Gira, Show, Kura Kura, so on and so forth. I don't really want to talk about each song because I don't want to extend this video too much. Each moment was so amazing. It's like every performance was either beautiful or very hype or both. And I also love how the crowd shouted adobo all the time, which is pretty much a Filipino dish, and as you can see, it's a pun to her name. I have no idea if Ado actually knows what adobo means, but it was actually funny to hear. I also remember how confused I was when Stale Gold played, given that I barely heard it, and I think so was the other crowd. I think it's mainly because the full version didn't release yet that time, which is fair to be honest. After that was Rule, which is the song I was waiting for the most. It was so hype, I lost my voice again. I just jumped the entire times. She had to spit fire after fire, non-stop at all. After that, I think was Fleeting Lullaby and Aishte Aishte Aishte, her cover. They were both deep. And after that was the band introduction, which was also amazing. The way they introduced themselves was, they showed their talents. It was also amazing. Everything. Amazing. That's all I can say. The hype only got more stronger. It was just banger after banger, and later on, she covered Hibana by Go 27 as expected. It was actually quite funny how the song got introduced. Like, the screen, it spelled out H then I. The entire crowd thought she was saying hi to us, so we replied like, "Hi, Ado," and until it followed up with BANA, which spelled out Hibana. I remember the entire crowd laughed at that. Later on, she had to have her MC talk, which I will talk about later, but for now, I want to talk about Auto, which she claimed, quote-unquote, to be the last song to play at the concert. Which obviously wasn't, considering there's always an encore in each concert. Everyone was shouting Moavii or Isa pa, which translates to one more time in Japanese and Filipino respectively, or the Adover chants. I even tried to start a Moavii chant in my section, which I think the crowd may or may not have caught on. The chanting kept going until some claps and beats came from the stage. The crowd went along with it, and Ado started singing like, "Ho ho 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 ho." And yes, as you can hear, it was Rockstar, one of my most favorite performances by Ado. It was actually amazing in the studio version, but it was way more hype in the live version. After that, she surprised us with the cover of Chandelier by Sia. Yes, a whole English song, no Japanese, just English in its entirety. And I would admit it was very impressive to see her English improve to the point that she can sing a whole English song. And then she continued her MC talk, which really hit me hard in the feels. I'll talk about that later. And lastly, she finally finished the concert very beautifully with New Genesis. Finally, to talk about her MC. Again, I want to mention how her English improved because back then, she didn't really know how to speak English that well. She was actually quite cute speaking it that time. Now, there was this time when she forgot the English word while she was MCing, so she just went blank state and went, classic Ado, to be honest. The crowd just cheered and laughed it off. It was funny. She also mentioned how she had Jollibee in the Philippines, and yes, she loved it. Jollibee on top. To get more serious, she mentioned how the term name Hibana meant spark, and that Ado wanted to be a spark that can grow into this big, beautiful, powerful thing. She also hopes that the concert would not only be a turning point for her, but also for everyone, and she hopes to bring happiness to everyone and hope, even during her hard times. There was only a bit of talk in these parts before she started to sing Odo. The main MC started before she sang New Genesis. She would start to talk about her progress as an otaite and so was her roots, and that she used to be like Hitori Goto, or Bocchi from Bocchi the Rock. She was always in her closet singing alone, and she even said how her mom used to shout at her because of how loud she sang. But inside that closet was a young girl chasing her dream. A dream that, despite the criticism of others, the limited resources, the urges to give up, it has led her very big worldwide. So the next part really relates to me so much. Like, according to her, there are probably people with big dreams out there, feeling lonely, loathing themselves, all that stuff. However, one thing she said hits me so hard. Is that loneliness is not a bad thing. So even if you're really lonely or if you dislike yourself, you have complexes, you can still dream. You can still have an ambition and make it come true. She said that no matter your age, gender, or race, or whatever, go for your dream. The feeling of having a dream can do so much wonders. So yeah, those are the words that she said in her MC, and it really hits me so hard. I actually wanted to cry that time that she spoke those words. In fact, I actually quite teared up when New Genesis played. But I do relate to her in some way, well, except I'm not a big worldwide famous otaite yet. To hear that as a person who's kind of struggling to find his way to his dreams, it actually helped me to believe in myself more and actually strive my career or my dreams or whatever I want to do in life. In fact, which is why I'm starting a YouTube channel right now. If not for her, I wouldn't be here talking to you. So Ado, you're probably not listening or watching right now, but still, I still want to thank you so much for how much you've changed me or even your other fans. Thank you for changing us with music, for inspiring us. Really, thank you so much, Ado. So I got home very late at night. I was left at the dark pondering about life alone, and I couldn't sleep at that time. I think I slept at like 4 or 5 a.m. I think. The following days I had a really rough voice, a sore throat. I felt emptiness for days, weeks. It's like my youth finally ended at that time with the concert. I felt like I reached the pinnacle of life and I didn't know what to look forward to in life anymore. That feeling went on for some days or even weeks, to be honest. And time passed by and I didn't really want to be sad about it, because from what I think, Ado doesn't want us to be sad. She wants us to be very happy, to look forward to in her life with eagerness to go for our dreams. She doesn't want us to be all moping about this post-concert depression thing. I know it was really hard for me to accept that her concert is finally over, but still, I tried my best to look forward to in life and go on. Up to this day, it still remains a very unforgettable moment for me. Like, I'm still in disbelief that she actually went here to the Philippines and that I actually got to see her. But especially that it's done, I still couldn't believe that it's done, you know? I still wish for her well-being, but I do want her to come here again, only when she's ready, because no way she's coming here again or another world tour for 3 consecutive years, after Wish and Hibana. I also hope that her music reaches more people and that her dream of spreading Vocaloid culture and Japanese music too is fulfilled. Also winning a Grammy. I know she wants to win a Grammy. I hope she wins that someday. So yeah, that should be it for the video. If you're still watching, thank you very much and I hope you enjoyed. So I'm quite a new YouTube channel, so this should be my first YouTube video, hopefully out of many. Yeah, I'm quite new to this. I might post commentary content, cosplay stuff that revolves around my interests. So yeah, like, comment, and share this video. Any support is appreciated. I also have other socials. I drop them in the corner, yada yada. Yeah, you know the drill. Anyways, thank you all and peace.